Well, hey guys, I'm here at Walgreens. Check out the skincare, see what's new. Ooh, check it out. Revolution Skin came out with some new things. It looks like they have a few retinol serums. One is a 1% and the other is 0.2%. I wouldn't get caught up in the percentages because it all boils down to the formulation overall. Apricot kernel oil, almond oil, retinol. These have coconut oil in them, which some people find aggravates their acne, but I've always gotten along well with coconut oil. Doesn't appear to, as though the 0.2% at least, doesn't appear to have fragrance. And then they have an overnight cream, $8. That's a pretty good value. I always suggest though going with more established brands. Like I'm not familiar with this Revolution brand too much, Revolution Beauty. Because retinol formulation is key. Retinol is not the most stable ingredient if it's not done right. It can be very effective though. Rose fruit oil, antioxidants, but if you have fragrance allergy, you want to watch out for that. It might cross react. What type of vitamin C is in the powerhouse antioxidant? Vitamin C can be helpful for hyperpigmentation. The issue with it is not very stable and it degrades and it's difficult for it to penetrate in the skin. Oh, this has orange peel oil? No. I hate it when brands do. Oh, it has ascorbic acid. Okay, that's a legit vitamin C, although it likely will degrade. Yeah, this has fragrance and orange peel oil. I would skip that. Those can be irritating to the skin. But then they have a glycolic acid toner. Now, glycolic acid can really help with hyperpigmentation. It can also help smooth the skin surface. If you're someone who gets keratosis pilaris, the rough and bumpy skin, it can help soften and exfoliate that. But it's difficult to really predict how a product is going to perform. A glycolic acid product is going to perform just based on like the ingredients and them telling you what percentage, because the whole formulation overall ends up influencing the free acid value, and that's really what can really make a difference as far as how much exfoliating you're going to get, which for some people could be too much, and others it's just like what they're looking for. And I'm pointing that out because if you are using a 5% glycolic acid toner and you see this and you purchase it thinking it's going to be a similar experience, it can be totally different. It can be more aggressive or it can be gentler. This also has urea in it, which is also really good for people who have keratosis pilaris and dry skin. Urea is a natural moisturizing factor. It's hygroscopic and it also helps break up dry, sticky skin cells, smoothing things out. This looks promising. I'm not seeing fragrance in that. Then we have a 10% niacinamide here from Revolution Blemish, but niacinamide is good for acne prone skin. I don't know that you necessarily need the 10% strength. Most of the studies use max 5%. Higher percentages you may find are more likely to be irritating, and I know some of you find niacinamide irritating. Now zinc, topical zinc, it's anti-inflammatory. This looks interesting. Oh look, it's the Meadow Foam Milk Oil Cleanser. $6? I may have to try this. No fragrance. May have to try that. Shea butter, $6. That's a deal. See, I came in here thinking, like, what could they possibly have new? And look, I mean, I'm telling you, this industry, there's always something to look at. 2% hyaluronic acid serum. I love hyaluronic acid as a humectant. It's a complete myth that topical hyaluronic acid is inflammatory. That is just not true. Topical hyaluronic acid is widely used in skincare products as well as in medicinal applications. It's actually anti-inflammatory and it helps with moisture content. Now that doesn't mean that some people don't find it irritating to their skin. I was taught, and it's often perpetuated, that hyaluronic acid can actually, if it's not paired with occlusive ingredients, can end up drying out the skin, because while it holds water there, if there's nothing occlusive to trap that in, then it's just going to evaporate. But there's actually no proof that happens. And I went, it's just one of those things that gets repeated over and over again. It gets taught, it gets stated in papers that are published, but you try and track down the reference and there is no reference. The only data I have found to support that is a small paper, and it's not the kind of thing that you're going to find if you go looking for it. It subtly pops out. It's a control of a skin equivalent where there was an increase in transepidermal water loss on the skin model, not like actual people. We're talking like skin model, like in a dish, where hyaluronic acid alone did have an increase in transepidermal water loss. But by and large, that doesn't seem to be the case in cosmetics, in skincare products. And like, why stop at hyaluronic acid then? Like, what would make it any different from any other humectant in that regard? Like, you don't hear people saying these things about other humectants like glycerin or urea or peptides. I mean, they all theoretically could do the same thing, and it's just not true. Oh, everybody loves to hate on the apricot scrub. I'm not a fan of these mechanical exfoliants because they can lead to a lot of irritation. But again, you know, some people do just fine with these, especially people who maybe have thicker, oilier skin. But these can end up being irritating in the long run. Now, I always thought that the St. Ives one had salicylic acid in it. This one does not appear to have salicylic acid, but it does have lactic acid, which can help with exfoliating. All right, if I do Walgreens, I'm not going to bother with the micellar cleansing water because this is just, you know, like going to go to waste because I can't get these to work. And I don't like the Garnier one, so I'm not going to like that. You guys will have to figure that out on your own, those of you who like the Garnier micellar water. I'm sure it's just as, it performs the same. I'm sure. I would be willing to bet it does. I've heard good things about this Bliss Block Star Invisible Daily SPF 30. This is the kind of thing, though, that you use as an everyday moisturizer. I wonder what the cast is like on this. It has iron oxides, which, again, can offer some protection against visible light. It does have fragrance, though. Lavender oil, rose fruit oil, so be aware. Botanics, this brand often comes out with new stuff, and I don't often come over here because a lot of times it's just got either fragrance or essential oils. But what is this new line? Clarifying with turmeric and willow bark. Now, willow bark is anti-inflammatory, but it's not the same thing as salicylic acid. Turmeric is anti-inflammatory as well. Pepper fruit oil, I would worry about that being irritating. Likewise, limonene is fragrance. Charcoal powder can absorb, you know, help with oiliness in a limited time fashion. Kaolin is a clay. So, you know, I imagine this cleanser may help with those of you who have oily skin. The scrub, again, I'm not a fan of scrubs. They can end up being irritating in the long run. This one is scented. And then they have a gel moisturizer. I love, oops, what did I do there? Oh, I just realized that I can manually zoom in and zoom out with this lens. Okay, and you're like, all right, great. The cinematics we came for. Okay, gel moisturizer. If I'm gonna plunk down for a good gel moisturizer, I'm going Calm and Restore Oat Gel Moisturizer. I'm not messing around with all of this fragrance and stuff. That's just me. But yeah, turmeric can be anti-inflammatory. It's like masks and things. Unfortunately, its bioavailability, its penetration is questionable into the skin. So whether or not it actually has anti-inflammatory benefits for the skin. Here I am again. I'm gonna walk away because I have too many of these Hydro Boost Hydrating Lip Shines. I love them so much. Some of these are on clearance. They're good. These are also good. The Revitalizing Lip Balm SPF 20. I think it's just got UVB protection in it. I don't think it has UVA. Yeah, octinoxate and oxybenzone. These are good though. Otherwise, I really like them. I mean, it's good to have UVB protection for sure, but you want broad spectrum ideally. So check it out. Lash Purify makes false lashes like new. Oh, this is to wash your false lashes. False lashes, I see the appeal, but you do want to take a break from them from time to time just to give your poor eyeballs a break, because the lashes, they can get in the way with like the tear films and things of that sort and lead to lid irritation. You can develop an allergy quite easily actually to the glue, the adhesives. So definitely take a break from them from time to time. Same thing with artificial nails or even nail polish. It's good to take a break from nail polish from time to time, because if you keep wearing it and you don't ever go nail polish-less, it kind of dehydrates the nail plate. and it makes it more prone to breakage. Now these you definitely want to take a break from too from time to time, because the glues, the adhesives, they have a lot of common allergens in them, and what ends up happening is like you develop a sensitivity to it, but maybe your hands aren't bothered by it so much, and then what happens is you transfer the allergen to your eyelid skin, which is a lot more sensitive. You get an eyelid dermatitis, and you don't make the connection that it's actually an allergy to your nail stuff that's causing your eyelid problem. But then with time, you can develop what's called like a chronic paronychia, inflammation around the nail. Most people have some degree of nickel allergy. It's so common, but if you have a robust nickel allergy, you got to check stuff like this, because these can have nickel and you can end up getting eyelid dermatitis related to this. That kind of looks freaky there. I don't know, for some reason that's giving me the willies. I don't know why. Shout out to Tweezer Man, not sponsored, but these are seriously the best tweezers. This, oh my gosh, is my new love in terms of a hand cream. I mentioned this in a recent favorites video, but you guys have got to check this out if you were looking for a good hand cream. I was using for the longest time the Necessaire hand cream, which I love, but it's kind of pricey. And this, I actually think is much better. It has colloidal oatmeal, a skin protectant, fast absorbing, non-greasy. I mean, it just instantly makes your hands like look 5 years younger instantly just by hydrating, and it's become like a favorite. I don't think I'll go back to the Necessaire one since I've discovered this, but I'm kind of intrigued by their crepe corrector hand cream. This one has urea, which is good for softening. Again, it softens and hydrates. Urea is great for dry skin. Age Renew, glycerin, dimethicone. Yeah, I might have to try this sometime. I'm also really liking the Eczema Relief body cream, but I've been so impressed with their retinol. And then of course, this is another favorite. I don't see the retinol one here. The Age Renew retinol, it's really good. But this Pure Moisture is such a great value. This one has niacinamide in it, which I know some of you are sensitive to. Speaking of keratosis pilaris, the salicylic acid cream from CeraVe, the SA cream for rough and bumpy skin, or you know, presumably the Walgreens one, these are good for keratosis pilaris. Or if you want something more lightweight and consistency, the lotion option is good. Now bear in mind, I've only tried the CeraVe brand. I haven't tried the Walgreens brand. But these are good. And then they are also nice because not only does the salicylic acid help to soften that rough, bumpy stuff, but then the formula overall helps to address the needs of the skin barrier as it relates to having dry skin. It has niacinamide, ceramides, and it also has lactic acid, which is likewise going to be helpful for softening and hydrating. CeraVe's Diabetic Dry Skin Relief. It has hydroxyethyl urea in it. Again, that's great for softening dry, rough skin. It does have orange fruit extract, which you may develop a sensitivity to, but otherwise it always looked good. The Eczema Relief Creamy Oil. I can't remember if I liked this or not. I think it was okay. One thing I always make sure I have is petrolatum, plain petrolatum, petroleum jelly, because it's so versatile. It lasts forever, like a jar of it. It's great for the lips, the eyelids. It's also great anywhere where you get chafing as a skin protectant. It's great for healing cuts. I mean, you name it, Vaseline really helps out a lot. Ooh, I wonder how good this is, this compact LED mirror. This would be good for like putting on contact lenses because it lights up. One of the biggest skincare mistakes that you can make is relying exclusively on your makeup for your sun protection, because unfortunately, while it's great to use makeup that has SPF, it doesn't give you sufficient coverage. You're going to have skip areas, it's going to be uneven. You're going to have areas where you just don't have any sunscreen. It's not enough to rely on that. So I always recommend starting your day with a base layer of a broad spectrum sunscreen to all sun exposed areas. I get a lot of sun exposure on a given day, so I wear sunscreen every single day. Clear Face SPF 60 with green tea. Green tea can help with oxidative stress from UV. And not only from UV, but also from pollution, another environmental stressor that our skin is exposed to that can lead to not only premature aging, but just contribute to the overall decline in skin barrier integrity. So antioxidants definitely may help. They also can help for those of you who deal with post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, or your skin is prone to hyperpigmentation. In theory, antioxidants can help you out in your sunscreens by minimizing that inflammatory cascade that leads to more pigment production. Another element, though, to look for in sunscreens for those of you who deal with hyperpigmentation is going to be iron oxides. Now, here's the Neutrogena Mineral UV Tint. I love these. Pure Screen, 4 shades. Iron oxides are going to be the inactive ingredient, and they offer protection against wavelengths of visible light that come largely from the sun and contribute to hyperpigmentation. I love this. This is a tinted chemical sunscreen, or organic sunscreen, if you will. But the tint in this does not come from iron oxides. It comes from a caramel color. So that's not going to protect you against the visible light. This is still a good sunscreen. It has fragrance in it, but otherwise I really like it. It's very fast absorbing. So this is new from Walgreens. Their 70 Sheer Lotion. This is, I guess, a Walgreens version of Neutrogena. I know this has fragrance in it, but this is a nice fast absorbing consistency. I haven't tried the Walgreens one, but the Ultra Sheer Dry Touch SPF 70 is nice and fast absorbing. Walgreens also has a version of the CeraVe Hydrating Mineral. Now this is super moisturizing, but it's casty. We're not gonna pretend it's not. However, this is a good option for those of you who find that sunscreens burn and sting around the eyes. Mineral only sunscreens are great to use around the eyes. I have a YouTube short. Also, if you follow me on TikTok or Instagram, it's as a reel and a TikTok showing, you know, how to just use mineral sunscreen around your eye, and then you can use whatever sunscreen you want the rest of your face. Because they're super casty, but around the eye it's not so noticeable, especially if you wear eye makeup over it. Is it just me over here in the sunscreen section alone? I'm seeing a lot of Walgreens brand skincare. I'm trying to decide. I got so much mixed feedback from you guys. When I asked you all which store brand you wanted me to deep dive into, recently I did a video comparing the Up and Up versions of some of our favorite skincare products, and you guys really enjoyed that video, but a lot of you asked for Walgreens, CVS, and Kroger. And just looking in here, I'm seeing a lot of Walgreens options. Ew, what is this? Tinted Acne Treatment Cream. I've always wanted to try this. It's a 10% benzoyl peroxide leave-on product with a tint. So benzoyl peroxide is great for acne. It reduces the burden of the acne-causing bacterium, Cutibacterium, that leads to acne breakouts, but it's also anti-inflammatory. And unlike topical antibiotics, benzoyl peroxide, the bacteria don't mount resistance to benzoyl peroxide. So it's safe to use, and definitely in contrast to a topical antibiotic where we start to worry long-term about the risk of antimicrobial resistance. And the tint in this comes from iron oxide. So this is a leave-on acne treatment that, by virtue of the iron oxides, provided you have a base layer of sunscreen on, the iron oxides in this may also be protecting your healing acne from healing with a dark mark, which is really cool. I'd love to see, I want to try this just to see what the tint is like. Now this is a 10% leave-on benzoyl peroxide. 10% is is definitely on the super drying side. So I imagine for me this is going to be too drying. Now people who have acne and oily skin, 10% benzoyl peroxide, a lot of people with acne can actually tolerate, especially if you have thicker skin, very oily skin type. Oftentimes cystic acne, because it's thick, the higher percentage penetrates a little bit better and gets those people better control. For me, I know this is going to be drying. The other issue with this is that it's going to rub off on your clothes and bleach them. That's one reason I personally, don't care for leave-on benzoyl peroxide. Instead, I personally like to use a benzoyl peroxide wash. Now, I don't use it on my face much anymore, but a while, years ago, especially when I had more acne, I don't really, knock on Walgreens shelf, I don't really get acne breakouts much. Here and there, a little clothes coming down rear its head, but nothing like, nothing like serious acne by any means. But when I had mild acne, I would use a salicylic acid face wash, I would use benzoyl peroxide washes, and I got good control just doing that sort of thing. But this Walgreens version of the CeraVe Acne Foaming Cleanser, see with this, you take advantage of something called short contact therapy, where you lather it to your face. I do this kind of thing in the shower. Lather it to your face while you're in there. Let the lather sit on the skin for a few minutes and then rinse it off. The benzoyl peroxide can get into the skin, help give you some acne control, and then you rinse it off. You don't have to worry about it bleaching your clothes. Now you do have to watch out for your washcloths in the shower, but otherwise, like, you're in there naked presumably, unless you bathe in a bathing suit, which is, I don't know. You know, you don't run into the issue of it bleaching stuff if you're careful, and you rinse it off in total. But what I end up using these for, those of you who know, you already know this tip, but it's great in the summer especially. I use it as a deodorant because deodorants work by cutting down on the amount of bacteria that live on the skin that break down sweat and lead to body odor. So I actually use this under the arms. I lather it there, leave it on the skin for a few minutes while I'm in the shower, and then rinse it off. You can also use this though on your feet. If you get foot odor, same principle, help deodorize the feet. The other way a lot of deodorants work is by just putting perfume under the arms to mask the body odor, which, you know, doesn't really do much. And like, some people's sweat mixes with the fragrance compounds and it just ends up smelling worse. Like a lot of the natural deodorants, if you will, I don't know, the reason they don't work out for people is it's just oftentimes, not always, but oftentimes they're just sticks of perfume which end up smelling weird under the arms. What was I going to tell you? So if you're someone who doesn't tolerate antiperspirants and you want to use something to deodorize, I suggest doing the benzoyl peroxide thing. It works. It definitely can help, and it's not being left on the skin, so it's less likely to be irritating. We also have an SPF 110. Walgreens is giving us here, water resistant, which I really like water resistant sunscreen for days outdoors, especially here where it's so humid. It just ensures that it holds up a little bit better. If you're going to be active outdoors or on a boat or something, or at the beach, this is something good to lean into. SPF 100 actually does turn out to be, according to a study, proved itself to be better in real world use at protecting against a sunburn in comparison to lower SPF, just because of the nature in which people apply. Like the standard application most people do, if they use an SPF 100 sunscreen, it ends up being closer to SPF 50 in some cases. So that's better than if you start with SPF 50 and you don't apply so well. You might get an SPF 25. You may get some skip areas. Speaking of SPF 100, it looks like Banana Boat has an SPF 100. Side note, Target has a version of their SPF 50 that's pretty inexpensive, and I actually really liked it, although it does burn and sting around the eyes. So I didn't end up being able to use it on my face, but it's a great body sunscreen. See, Walgreens used to have this amazing hybrid sunscreen, and they did away with it. It was fragrance free. It went on beautifully. Now they have this SPF 50 water resistant. This is an organic, aka chemical sunscreen. They also have it in 30 fragrance, which is not my preference, especially for sunscreens. I find that it's irritating. Now the powders, they're fine to use to mattify sunscreen, but I wouldn't ever rely on those exclusively because they don't, similar to the makeup issue, they're not giving you a sufficient layer of protection. They're gonna have skip areas and holes basically. I'm over here in the travel section, and they have a little mini native deodorant. This is what I was talking about with the natural deodorant, often giving people contact dermatitis because the fragrance is meant to just cover up, mask the body odor, and a lot of people develop contact dermatitis to these native deodorants. We have a little Walgreens version of CeraVe here in the travel section, $6, but the CeraVe one is $7.79. Definitely be wearing your sunglasses. When it comes to sunglasses, you don't need to spend a lot of money. Like, you just want to look for 100% UV protection from the lenses, and the best thing to look for is you want them to cover as much territory as possible, because that's going to be protecting the skin around your eyes. So there are actually some pretty good options here for kids. Like this one I really like because it's got some good sad action there. And over here we have adult Foster Grant, $19.99, not too bad. Again, like, these are nice, give you a little bit more protection on the side, from light coming in the sides. And it's, again, 100% the Max Block, 100% UVA, UVB lens protection. The thing you want to watch out with for your sunglasses is like, take good care of them, even if they're, you know, inexpensive ones you don't care about, because if you like leave them in your car or you throw them in the bag, in your purse and stuff, the coating on the protective coating on the lenses can get scratched and wears away. Ooh, Panama Jack. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this drugstore skincare shop with me video. On the end slide, I'm going to put my recent video going over the Up and Up dupes, so check that one out next if you missed it. Lots of good products there to save you a good bit of money if you are in the market for cutting down on spending, which I'm sure everybody is. But if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and as always, don't forget, sunscreen and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.